All right. Good morning, Flagler County. This is Danielle Anderson, your host of Lifeline, the radio show connecting you to positivity in our community. And we have probably one of the most positive people I know in the studio this morning. We have the phenomenal Mr. George Hans. Good morning, George.
Well, good morning. I'm very honored to be here, and that was quite an introduction,
Oh,
but it's very much appreciated.
I couldn't read your whole bio in the introduction because I think, that would take up the entire show. But, we do really want to talk about, because I think we're the first to have you on to talk about this. You had a very prestigious award given to you on Saturday night, and it's very, very exciting. So, and you're so deserving. So, tell us a little bit about it.
Well, I've been an active member of many of the clubs and organizations in Flagler County, and most recently, I'm very heavily involved with the Palm Coast Elks 2709 on Old Kings Road, and each year they have different awards for people that have achieved different things, whether it was Elk of the Year or Officer of the Year. In my particular case, it was Citizen of the Year, which I'm very honored. I'm proud to be a citizen. And my life has been quite interesting, but our ER exalted ruler, Pete Leonards, um, gave me this award, and it was quite a nice surprise, and it was very much appreciated. I'm not used to getting allocates or being pampered or anything of that nature, but I must say it was very nice, and I'm very proud of that distinction that people recognize what you do for Flagler County specifically, and so it was recognizing my dedication to the taking pictures, the tours I do at the Princess Place. We've taken just under 38,000 people documented
Wow.
to the Princess Place on tour from all over the world. And it's fascinating because they speak French, German, Italian, and a little English. And I have fun with the tours, and they have come from all over the world for years. Most heavily was almost every club and organization in Flagler County has came to the Princess Place, and we have private tours. The rangers there are awesome. They know the history. They can answer questions going back to 1565. So it's very much appreciated, and the Princess Place has such a rich history. I don't want to go into my tour right now, but we can go back to 1565. Um, and occasionally, you may give a tour, and then months later, someone will come to the same tour, and they'll say, "Well, that's not who you told that story last time." And I says, "Well, listen, here's the way I look at it. Next year there'll be even less people around to dispute that, so we can
Oh my
we can
gosh.
improvise a little bit." But it's just as exciting. And some people, of course, at the Princess Place believe that certain rooms are haunted. And I have a little fun with it because I'd be giving a tour and someone would say something like, "Oh, by the way, are there any haints in here? Spirits?" And I'm like, "You mean you can see me?" And they kind of freak out a little bit, but it's fun and it's very rewarding. And I was honored that they named the bridge after me at the Princess Place, and a number of things in the community that when I was a county commissioner for many years. 2 years on the Palm Coast Service District Advisory Board. That was my apprenticeship, getting me a taste of being what it's like to work in government and make decisions for the betterment of the community.
So let's talk about, because even before you did all of those amazing things,
Mhm.
your story is so incredible that do you mind? Can we tell people that? Is it okay?
Sure.
Okay. So if you've never had coffee with George or ice cream or just met him on the street to talk for a minute, his life is so fascinating. And that's why this is such a perfect award for him to receive as Citizen of the Year, because he's just done so much starting from such a young age. So tell us a little bit about the early days.
Well, the early days, I was born very young, of course. Unfortunately, I was very close with family. Family's been very much my main life. Unfortunately, my mom passed away when I was 12. I took care of her for a few years prior to then, but everything I've done in life, which has been for the most part good and people benefited by it, I always say, well, you can thank my mama for that. And I mean that quite seriously. I believe she kind of watched over me all my life. I went in the military at 17 years old, and that was at a time when Khrushchev was on TV banging his shoe on a podium saying, America, I will bury you. And there was threat of invasion and nuclear war and all those type things. And my family is a very rich history of serving in the military. And my brother and I seen the movie The Alamo many years ago, and we wanted to emulate that. We thought that was the coolest thing, that these people died for their country and what they believed in. And if the Soviets were going to invade and we were all going to perish anyway, we would be honored to serve in the military. So I went in the military, and because of the tests we took, they said I had a very high IQ, which I didn't realize I had when I was in high school. And they put me in Army intelligence, and we did covert operations throughout Europe, predominantly along the East German, Czechoslovakian border and Berlin. And it was very rewarding. So for the first time in my life, I had a lot of responsibility, and I learned how to work alone. Learned how to work in civilian clothes and different things like that, but it was very rewarding. I must say that we were far from James Bond or anything like that, I must say, but we were proud to serve. And when I got out of the military, I was blessed to be in a fifth generation builder family. So all us kids coming up would either be electricians, carpenters, plumbers, an architect maybe. We had a few engineers, but we don't talk about them because they get a little involved. And so I was very blessed with being that. I made a living doing that. I was married. Unfortunately, that didn't work out. There was some tragedy, and I ended up raising the children as a single dad, which I'm very proud of. And I think it's just the nicest thing. I've raised the children. Now I have grandchildren. I have the oldest one is Miranda is now 28 years old. She just got married, and to honor me, she got married on my birthday, and I thought it was awesome. I was so proud of that. She was introducing at her wedding, a special day for most women. And she says, I want to introduce someone that's very dear to me, and I don't know what I would do without this man in my life. And he is so courageous, and he always is helping people, and I just love him dearly. And I thought she was going to introduce her new husband, and she says, and my papa is here, and it's his birthday today.
Oh,
So she had everyone sing me happy birthday on her wedding day. And it's so funny because she says afterwards, by the way, Papa is single. So the women are all cackling in the background. And one family member who is quite active in many things, particularly, let's say, roller derby and things like that. She says, I'll take care of Papa. And my granddaughter says, no, 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 you will hurt him. You leave him alone. So to bring it up to date, back to Flagler County, my family's very proud of what I did. And, with the county commission, I served for 24 years. I'm told I'm the longest standing elected commissioner in modern day history in Flagler County. And what I attribute being in office for all those years is predominantly always been a volunteer. And even when I was a commissioner, I volunteered. I could be at the VFW or one of the clubs and at a function. And then afterwards, we all pick up tables and chairs and everything, and we just always contribute. And someone once said, why are you picking up chairs? You're a county commissioner. And I'm like, I'm a member of this organization, and we all work together.
that's right.
And I must say that without volunteers, none of our clubs would exist because we have so many dedicated volunteers, and it makes such a difference in their life. Was people get older, they don't need to sit in a rocking chair. They need to do something exciting. For those that are able to jog and go into 5K run or walk. Some people, like myself in the past, I had skydive. That's rather exciting. And, and being a single person, it adds a little excitement to your life. Um, One thing I miss not having a lady in my life. I had fortune in having Sophia for many, many years, 25 years or more. And it was kind of nice because she could tell me when the light turned green and where to park in a parking lot. And
You couldn't do those on your own, could you?
oh, no, no, I would be lost. I'd just drive around the parking lot and didn't know what to do.
I know. I'm like signaling to the ladies, call him.
So it's nice having women around because they're awesome, and there's so many that are just so accomplished in life. You know, they're good Lord. There's pilots and attorneys, executives, CEOs. Women are, in my opinion, the rocks of the family. The guys need direction. I always joke with the guys in public. Publix pushing the cart. We're not plugging Publix. It could be Winn-Dixie or Aldi. However, and I always say, "Are you having fun yet?" And the guy's like, "Oh yeah, everything I reach for, it's like you don't need that. You don't need that." So it's fun to tease the guys that are fortunate enough to have a woman in their life. Um, I've
But you have so many wonderful female friends, you know.
I really do, and it's a blessing to have so many friends because we take pictures all the time. I mean, I'm avid. I go to almost every event, whether it's a farmer's market. This weekend, it's so unfortunate because I wanted to go to the home show. I wanted to go to the farmer's market at the European Village. I wanted to go to Cracker Day, and so many times I've always said, I wish they had a community bulletin board online where all the clubs and organizations could go on there and say, we're planning a fundraiser on this date. Oh, no, we can't do it that day because this is happening and this is happening. And it's horrible because many of us, like myself, we like to go to local events and support our local activities and festivals and things of that nature. But it's very difficult when
They overlap
there's so
so like
many
that.
events in
Yeah.
one day. But I'm proud to serve, and I'm a avid volunteer, and I don't know what to say, but it was an honor to receive Citizen of the Year because once you retire as a county commissioner, many of them you never see them again. And unfortunately, I wish we did a show on local politics because I would like to give my point of view on different things like that. But so many of them, you never see them. They get in office and they're your friend and they're shaking your hand and, oh, I'm running for office. I've never done this before and I need your help because you have so much experience. And some of them, by God, when they get elected, you never hear from them again.
That is
Or
something that burns me up is
well,
you always can tell when election season is coming around,
yes.
you
Oh,
know,
yes.
because suddenly people start appearing. You know, there are some we do have some good elected officials who will
Absolutely.
go to everything that they can get on their schedule, not because they feel obligated, but because they want to be with the community, and you can really tell.
And people have asked me over the years when in Tallahassee and other places, what do you attribute your success to? And I tell them I'm active in my community. People see me. They don't see me once every 4 years when we're looking for a vote.
Exactly.
And it's important, but there's quite a few commissioners at the Flagler County level that I have a lot of respect for. And I see them in the community and they go out and about and at the county level, I always see Andy Dance, almost everything, Greg Hansen, and
You know, Kim
occasionally,
Carney, now she's out. Pam Richardson, now that she's up, she's out.
oh, they're out and
Leanne,
about.
Leanne's
Pam
up.
and
Yeah,
Kim are doing a good job, I
yeah.
believe. Now, at the city level, I can go to a city meeting, they won't even acknowledge I exist.
You know,
but that's another story. But I don't go to the meetings for that. I did have a lot to say at the last city council meeting where I told them that I believe when ITT sold the utility, they sold it for, I'm going to guesstimate, $19 million. The consortium, Florida Water and others that bought the utility, had it for approximately 5 years, and they sold it to the city of Palm Coast for $62 million. And it's been my understanding they borrowed another 20 or more million for improvements. But I would say I pay more for water than I do for electricity. And that's ridiculous. And I mean, people in Miami are paying quarterly $50. I've heard from some people. I don't know if
Wow.
that's factual. However, because sometimes people story when they come from Miami, but
Well,
but
$50 spends a little differently in Miami
yes,
than it does Palm Coast.
but there's so much I have to say about local. I don't like the word politics because I'm proud to say when I was a commissioner, both parties supported me, and rarely would anyone run against me, and that's why I stayed in for 24
It's because
years.
you're amazing. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and take a deep dive with George on what he thinks about some more issues. We'll be right back.
Are we done?
Nope, we got 15 more minutes.
Oh,
Well, probably 10,
oh,
but are you okay? Doing good?
I'm okay, but I don't want to get rambling.
No, no. So we're good. Are you
Okay,
ready?
where are we gonna start off
It's
with?
a secret.
Mine,
It's a secret.
the secret.
Hmm.
You're gonna ask me a secret?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not like engaged or nothing.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
Are you ready, Mark? All right, guys. We are back with George Hans, and he's just a great teaser, a great kidder, and wonderful sense of humor, amazing community person, leader, thought leader here. And it's awesome that you stay so engaged with everything that's going on here because, your experience and your expertise is really valuable, especially when we have upcoming leaders who don't have, the breadth of knowledge that you do have.
Yes, that's true. One of the things we lost with certain people that are no longer in office, including myself, is the history. One of the reasons I believe they put me in intelligence area in the military was because I'm able to retain things and I memorize things. Even if you read a book or a novel when you were in third grade, I could recite it. In seventh grade, we had to learn a paragraph on Paul Revere's Ride. And of course, I wasn't paying attention. And I went home and I thought we had to memorize the whole thing. So I did. I memorized the whole thing in seventh grade. And I didn't realize I had that ability. But the next day we're on stage practicing for this play we were doing. And the children started off, listen, my children, and you shall hear the midnight ride of Paul Revere. I says on the 18th of April in 75, and I would help each and every person. And the teacher finally said, how do you know all that? And I says, you told me to go home and memorize this. And so I recited the whole thing. And it was so cool because I still get excited about a lot of things in life. I had the opportunity to go to Boston not long ago, and I thought it was so cool to see Boston Gardens and the ball field. And I walked the Freedom Trail, and I was reciting to myself Paul Revere's Ride. And I just thought it was so cool. And my children, they heard my stories over and over again during their lifetime. But I'm proud to say my children were still very close. My son worked for the Daytona newspaper for a long time, and then he was with Embry Riddle. He's working again with the newspaper in Atlanta,
I saw that.
and he's doing
Congratulations.
great. And my daughter is like a nanny. She takes care of little infants and things. My granddaughter does the same. And I have a younger granddaughter who's now 17, who is a nationally accredited cheer. They do cheer. It's like gymnastics, but with large groups. And recently they went to Las Vegas and won first place, national award.
Wow.
And she's won on first place in Atlanta, in Indianapolis, her whole team. But what's so remarkable about her, with the family being Italian, obviously, but also Scottish, Dutch, Cherokee Indian, and Irish. Our children, some of them could be 6'5" with green eyes or blue eyes and blonde hair. What makes it unique again for my granddaughter Lillian Rose McPartland, she's all legs, and she's type 1 diabetic since she was a young child. It's amazing because her blood glucose has to be monitored around the clock, and the harder this girl works, the better she feels.
You know, we just had Mrs. Florida USA
Mm-hmm.
on, and she's type 1 diabetic since
Yes.
she was 5 years old. And you don't realize the amount of care that has to go into your day. When
Oh
she
no,
was talking about it, it was stunning.
it is.
And for your granddaughter to be so high achieving
Oh,
in athletics.
the thrill of my life is when my nieces and granddaughters and nephews and come to visit, and that is amazing. Being Papa is my favorite title in the whole world. No matter what I've done, if it was good, um, nothing tops being a Papa for me. I always, everything I've done in life, I said, I wish my mama could have seen this, or
So I told you I was going to ask you a secret.
okay.
What do you think the secret to life is? To a good life?
The secret of a good life is to stay as healthy as possible, um, eat a lot of chocolate eclairs, and
Oh,
be happy and have ice cream daily. That was a given for me. But the secret of life is to always do good for other people. It's so fulfilling. I enjoy making people happy. I like to make people smile. Um, uh, I have to say, doing for others for me is a gift. And what I mean by that is, I don't give till it hurts, I give till it feels good. And I rarely ever think of myself. I've never dwelled on being a single person and not involved and say, oh, poor me. I don't have time for that. People call me and they need me. And um, one of the things I haven't learned how to do, I haven't learned how to say no. So everyone calls upon me and say, "Oh, by the way, do you have a truck? Could you do this or that?" But we're so active. I'm proud to be a past commander of the VFW and the American Legion. I'm past commander of that, and I'm saying I'm past commander, not that it was like an ego trip. If you're going to be involved in a organization, you work your way up, and when it's your turn, you work at the top, just like I did with the county commission. I worked my way up. I served as chairman several times, and it's very rewarding. And I always was able to defuse a bad situation when it got a little hectic with humor, you
I
know.
believe that.
And it really worked for me because sometimes I'm proud to say when I was a county commissioner in Flagler County, Florida, 19 people were elected and lost the next election or retired while I was a commissioner. Now, that is a credit to my mother, I'm sure, because, I'm sure she's proud of what I've done, but I always try to please family and I never do anything to embarrass my family. Um, you know, um, so the secret to life is doing for others, staying healthy, and always be a good. Um, you have to have things you believe in. We all believe in God, I believe. I respect other religions that are peaceful and not, terrorist type individuals. But I've had a lot of success. I grew up as a Roman Catholic, and very proud of that, but I don't preach to other people like, oh, you shouldn't say this or that. I have many friends that are Lutheran and Baptist. I'm smiling because I know one of my Baptist uh, pastors very well. And one time I joked with him because during a sermon he was saying something about John the Baptist or James or one of the those from the biblical days, and he says, "Oh, those Catholics," and I'm like, "What are you saying that for?" You
Like,
know?
I'm here.
Yeah, but I'm proud to say our churches in Flagler County are very well attended,
Yeah.
and people are very happy. Some people they have the born again type Christians, and I was born one time, and I'm still following the same lead, so I haven't been born again. I'm very happy with being born and baptized the first time,
So it
but
seems like you really are leaving a legacy, leading with a legacy of excellence. And even if it's not like you're trying to do it. It just kind of like is coming from you from within.
well, everything I do, I try to be as genuine as possible, and many times you don't feel appreciated. So that was really a good boost for me, a big thing to be Citizen of the Year, and I'm very proud of the Elks organization and that um, Heather Thompson and Pete Leonard work very well together, and they're my dear friends, and I cherish my friends. I really love them. Our people are like a very, very caring. If someone don't see me for a couple days, they call up and they're like, "Where have you been?" or "What are you doing?" So it's rare that I don't have time to be sick, and I try to stay healthy, and I go in for all these different doctor visits that are annual and checkups. Unfortunately, I do have very good insurance. And if you do have an insurance, it seems like sometimes, well, since we got you here, we might as
Do
well
a
do
little
this
more.
other test. But what else do we have here?
I guess that's it. So we're gonna wrap it up, and it sounds like the secret to a good life is do good for others, be genuine, give until it feels good,
Oh, yes,
and be sure to take a
absolutely.
break for yourself once in a while, right?
We take a break. I like to travel, and when I had Sophia, we would travel quite often. And I haven't met anyone that I could do adventures with and things like that. But I'm enthusiastic about whatever. Even if I just take a ride to Tallahassee, I research what can I do on the way there and what can I do on the way back. And, it all boils down to
I bet she's listening today. That next road trip, buddy.
yes, absolutely.
So, Georgia, I do want to congratulate you on Citizen of the Year. When Heather told me, it was very, just, it couldn't have been for a better person. So,
Well,
thank you for all that you do in our community. You really are just one of a kind.
and I'm flattered that people talk about me
Oh, we do.
in
We
a,
talk
in
about
a
you.
in a good way. I
Kidding.
mean that to me that makes it all worthwhile.
So, if you guys want to check him out, George does photos for HT Production Company, and he's on Facebook. You can follow all of his adventures basically daily. Uh, is that okay if they follow you on Facebook?
Oh, absolutely.
All
You
right,
can.
check it out. It's George Hans, Hanns. I think it, it's Junior on yours, right?
I actually have George Castry Hand Senior,
Senior.
SR. Castrio is my mother's maiden name, and my mother's family is all from Naples, Italy. And I'm proud to say I'm a very good cook with lasagna and many things like that. But sometimes sometimes I think people, especially women, they're fond of me because they like my cooking, I think.
So check it out. Facebook, George Hans Sr. Congratulations on Citizen of the Year from the Elks Club. That's a big honor. We do want to thank WNZF News Radio, Flagler News Weekly, Massage by Natalie and Company, the Vigilante Philanthropists, and our Benjamin Moore Paint Store here in Palm Coast.